Good morning and welcome to this HTML5 course. In this chapter, we're going to look at layout lists with flexbox. We have a list here, so we will try to remove our bullets, which are here in the form of small circles. To do that, we are going to have to call our UL selector. So I'm going to move over here and I'm going to call the UL. To get ahead of the future, I can also call the OL. So I'm going to put a list style. Here, it's going to override the default behavior of our lists. So we don't see the little errors anymore. If I update, you can see that I no longer have these little bullets. I can also override the padding that we have. I'm going to set it to 0. Actually, if I put on O instead of a 0, it can work. So there you go. We can also navigate to our other file. We also had the same style of list, and well, if I refresh now, I don't have my bullets anymore, and I have my padding that has been cancelled. So here we had put a green border. We are going to add a margin to it, because you can see that it's really stuck to the border. It's not pretty. So we are going to get our post, and we are going to add a margin to the left of it. For example, 15 pixels. If I save this, it's much nicer like this. So now we are going to try to put our list in a horizontal shape and not a vertical one, so that it looks like a menu. So I'm going to go into my index file and I'm going to find my list. So it's here. So what we can do is use the li selector directly. The problem we're going to have is that we had several aliases, so it will modify all our aliases. Here, what we can also do is put an ID, for example, call it menu. And we can use the descendant directly because the alias is in a NAV. So here we will do it like that. We will use our NAV. We go back to our style sheet, and it seems to me that we had already used here. So we are going to complete it, and we are going to add a flow left, so that our list is horizontal and no longer vertical. So if I update, you can see that my list is now horizontal. Then we are going to add a margin between the elements. So we'll put a margin on the right of each element of about 5 pixels. We will see how it goes. It's not bad. We can put a background. So a background, for example, just white. I update it. Already looks like something. It's much better. We'll put a little padding. So if I put a padding, for example, of 3 pixels, let's see what it gives. It's already pretty good. So here we have a menu that is starting to look like something. The problem is that if I enlarge my page, you can see that my menu is totally on the left. I would like it to be more centered, so we're going to work with the flexbox. So to use the flexbox, we'll have to tell the container that we want a flex display. So in our list that is there, our container is the UL. I go back to my style sheet. I look for my UL which is there. And here I have to put a display flex on it. But the problem we're going to have is that I put my display flex here. It's going to apply to all my ULs. And I don't want it to. I want it to apply only to the ULs of my NAV. However, we will use our descendants. So we have a NAV here, and we are simply going to add a UL in this way. And we're going to tell it to display flex. Now that we have told it that it's a display flex, we're going to be able to play with the direction. So you do flex direction, and then we're going to tell it the direction we want. So let's say we will tell him column. If I update, you see that I'm back to square one and they are back in a vertical way. I can tell him column reverse, and you see if I say column reverse, what will happen is that my navigation will be reversed. My home will be at the bottom. You see everything is reverse. In the same way, I can put a row reverse on it so that my home is at the end of my navigation and it's all reverse, but this time it's horizontal. I can simply put a row on it, and this way I have my navigation the way I want it. Now what I wanted is that my navigation when I enlarge my sheet take all the space. You see that here it's rather stuck on the left. I want it to take all the space whether my screen is small or large. To do this, we're going to use our li and we're going to put a flex grow on it. Here I'm going to put 1 on it. If I update it, you will see that my navigation now takes up all this space. I'm going to center my text inside the cells. So I will simply put a text line and say center. If I refresh and enlarge my page, you can see that now my menu takes up all the space and my text is centered in its space.